It's Acts 15 and 16.
Yep.
After this, I will return and will build again the Tabernacle of David.
Right. Once again, this is James speaking, right? And that's what the whole debate right now is about. With both Cap Malone and his apologetics, which sounds gay as hell. Go ahead.
After this, I will return and will build the Tabernacle of David, which is fallen down. And I will build it again, the ruins thereof, and I will set it up.
Right. So at that time, James was using this, saying that the Tabernacle of David was being built at that time. But the Lord said clearly that he had what? Sheep that are not of this fold. Alright? So spiritually, yeah, it was being rebuilt. You know, since Hosea, 609 BC. It was being rebuilt back then. During the times Yahweh was on the scene with Peter and the other disciples.
And Yahweh also told him in the book of Luke that there should be wars and rumors of wars.
That's right, man.
That hadn't happened yet.
But it's not yet. You know, but not yet. And now it's happening. Now we're being built up physically someday to receive spiritual ability. Yahweh Rakazah.
Acts 15 and 17. That the residue of men might seek after the Lord, and all the Gentiles upon whom and all the Gentiles upon whom my name is called, saith the Lord, who doeth all these things.
That's right, man. So he said what? The residue. And what did he say? A small remnant gonna be saved. Alright, though he made the world for many, only a few shall be saved. Alright, and the Lord left in the midst of us a small remnant of people that will not bow the knee to the Baal, to the devil. Alright, go ahead.
Knowing unto Yahweh are all his works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble.
Hey, look it. So this is James, that's still James speaking. So this is his decree. That's why he says, my sentence is, meaning my decree is, you know, because of Amos 9 and 8, let's do this. But this is where he kind of went off. But how else would it have been established if this wasn't put in place? How else would they have went along with the decree? You know, for the foundation to be built and to be recognized from the rest of them.
And then that goes to some of you Israelites that teach that there's no confusing the faces to this day.
Right, man.
You know, that's y'all the same ones that they were arguing with back then.
Yep. That's right, man. That's right.
All right, this is Acts 15 and 19. Wherefore my sentence is...
Right, so like they saying they got to look like us. You got to look like John Shaft to make it. You know, that shit crazy, man. Go ahead, brother.
This is Acts 15 and 19. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which are from among the Gentiles.
Hey, so he said that we trouble them not. And they was troubling these people because they wanted to be saved and they believed in Yahushua. But these damn Jews, which were also Israelites, like La UIC or whoever, they were coming up and saying, nah, you ain't going to be saved. Imagine what that feels to somebody because they don't get their foreskin cut off. But because they had certain ways that they couldn't shake at that moment. But they said, I believe you. You know?
Ooh, they don't got their freedom. No pants. Women walk up with pants on, you can't come in.
You can't be saved, you got on them pants.
Right.
It says,
you got tattoos, you know? Just don't get no more.
Your turn. Yeah. But that we write unto them that
hey, look at me, I keep cutting you off. Imagine if somebody said you gotta get them tattoos off of you. Or you ain't gonna make it. We were scrounging up money and shit. There was a brother that used to be in the camp. And we was trying to find money and get money for him to get circumcised before. You know, but it was because his spirit, he wanted it. But imagine how it would be if we said you ain't gonna make it unless you get circumcised. That shit cost $250.
That's just like telling somebody you gotta come up here perfect already. You know
yeah, man.
You kind of come up here with no blemishes, man, no spots, no nothing.
Right, and a lot of us ain't perfect, man. I ain't going to that. Go ahead, brother.
It's just saying, shit, if you keep all the laws 100%, you can't come. If you don't keep the laws 100%, you can't be saved.
That's basically what they're saying. And it's impossible for that to be done.
You gotta know the laws, then come in and know the laws and keep the laws for you to be saved.
Proof of that is what? We ain't gonna speak like vocab. Don't do no. That's how he talk.
Oh, no.
But just remember that though. That's how he talk.
Gotcha.
Keep that. So what happened if a homosexual is walking up the street? They're supposed to be put to death. We can't keep that law right now. Why? Because Esau's in power. We gotta obey the laws of the land. So Are we not going to make it because we're not putting faggots to death?
You gotta walk around here butt naked because all the fabrics are mesh fabric.
Yeah, they mix. You're not supposed to mix any fabric.
But ask them why they ain't put a faggot to death when they walk by them, dude. They ain't gonna be an answer.
All right, keep going, bro. Let's stick to the business.
It's Acts 15 and 20. But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols.
So he's saying, all right, man, let's not trouble them with that. But let's give them something real. Let's give them something to hold on to. You know, let's write unto them and tell them that they abstain from idols. That's major. You know, stop their idol worship in these lands. You know, turn from the heathen's idols. You Israelites. You know, go ahead. What's the next thing?
And from fornication.
Fornication, meaning adultery, having sex with other men's wives. You know, and adultery, meaning spiritually too. Again, the same word as adultery. Go ahead.
And from strangled.
And from strangled.
I mean, like it. And from things strangled.
And from things strangled. All right, go ahead.
And from blood.
And from blood. So if an animal dies, you know, whatever, man. And from blood. Eating the fucking animal with the blood in it. Go ahead.
For Moses of old times has in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Right. So every Sabbath, it was read in the synagogue. All right, go ahead.
So then pleased it the apostles and elders.
Right, because this was what? The 10 Commandments. This breaks down the simple form of the commandments, man. All right, go ahead.
I said, then it pleased the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch with Paul and Barnabas.
So from that point, they all agreed, and the council was closed. So a year later, they came up with this decision. All right? So in 50 AD, around 51 AD, all the way to 53, that's when they came up with this. You know, to say, hey, now, let's go ahead and start going out and doing this work now, this missionary. And that's when Paul went to his second journey. All right? And that's when you go to Acts 16. You know, but go ahead, brother.
Namely, Judas, surnamed Barsabbas, and Silas, chief men among the brethren, and wrote letters by them after this manner. The apostles and elders and brethren said, greetings unto the brethren which are the Gentiles. The brethren which are Gentiles.
Greeting unto the brethren which are Gentiles. We already read that in Romans 9 where he said brethren. But let's get Romans 10.
I know you're talking about.
Starting at what verse?
1.
Alright, this is Romans 10 and 1. Brethren, my heart's desire.
Oh, what did he say?
Brethren, my heart's desire.
He's saying brethren, right?
Come on.
Yep, brethren. Go ahead.
Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them.
Oh, that was it.
Come on.
So what? He said to Israel is that they might be saved, man. All right, and he called them his brothers. So the same thing here, man. He said his heart prayer to Yahweh is that Israel is going to be saved. So these were Israelites that Paul was sent to. He said he's a what? An apostle of the Gentiles. He magnified his office. You know, him being an Israelite himself and a Gentile himself at first. You know, until the Lord woke him up.
All right, I just want to bring this out in the book of James. James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh, of the Lord Yahweh Shai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings.
Yo, that's beautiful. To the 12, man, again, brother.
James 1 and 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
So he was sending his letters out to the 12 tribes, man. Israel that was scattered abroad. Called Gentiles, man. Go ahead, brother. All right.
It's Acts 15 and 23. And who wrote letters by them after this manner, the apostles and elders and brethren, send greetings unto brethren which are of the Gentiles.
That goes right. Send greetings. That's a super cut. You might have to do that one as a single lesson later. Hey, what he said? He said send letters to the brethren, right? That are the Gentiles scattered. James 1, what? It said, greetings to you 12 tribes scattered. See that? Vocab? You apologetics. The Lord gonna make you apologize. You gonna say uncle. You gonna put your ass in somebody break somebody's fucking arm. Say uncle. Go ahead, bro.
Alright. This is Luke chapter 15. I'm gonna start at verse 3. And he spake this parable unto them, saying, What man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doth not leave the 99 in the wilderness, and go after that which is lost until he find it? And when he had...
All right, check this out. That's clear right there, because the reason why he was bringing that out is because Yahweh Shai was bringing the Gentiles, which were Israelites. That one sheep represents the Gentiles that were once Israelites that started conforming to these heathen customs. All right, so that's why he said, hey, we got to bring them in too. We can't just leave them out there.
Yep. You can't just go after the Jews. He said, why go after them? He's not sent to the healed, he's sent to the sick.
To those that are whole need not a physician.
Yeah, those that are whole need not a physician. If you think you got it all, you don't need me. That's what Yahweh Shai was saying. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 5. And when he hath found it, he layeth it on his shoulders, rejoicing. Verse 6. And when he cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost. That's it.
Right, man. That's just clear, man. His friends and brethren.
And what's the other scripture? Yahushua sent unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Matthew 16:24.
Yep, might well bring it up. Whoever got it, not you, whoever.
All right, this is St. Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That's right, man. That's clear. Hey, somebody get Romans 3 and 7? Now I'm gonna bring this out, man. So what if James did go off? Alright? Did that make him wicked? No. No, was he a novice? No, because he was on the elder council. You know, so what he was doing was using tactics.
They got it.
Alright, he had to put something out there to shut the damn people down, man. Because they were about to go to war with each other. Alright, go ahead.
Alright, this is the book of Romans, chapter 3, verse 7. For if the truth of Yahweh have more abundant through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner?
That's right, man. So what's something opposite of the truth is called a lie. So that doesn't make James wicked. You know, that just means he had an agenda to shut these people down, to kill the argument, and to end the council, and say, hey, let's start building the tabernacle now. But he was wrong in saying to build the tabernacle right then, you know, because they say, what? We seek a future kingdom, a future place. And that's talking about now.
And there's also a scripture that says, knowing the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we persuade men. All right? Sometimes you have to use persuasive tactics to get through the men.
Right.
You know?
That's right. He said, measure the time diligently in itself, man. And when you see part of these signs pass, then you know it is the very same time when the Lord is going to begin to visit the earth, which he made. Meaning this is the time when he's starting to return. He's starting his return to the earth. All right? You got something? Go ahead, bro.
What you said earlier, all right? This is Luke chapter 5, verse 32. It says, I have not come to... This is Luke chapter 5, verse 32. No, 32. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. All right? And two-thirds of our people that's in a spiritually Gentile state of mind, all right, they are sinners. All right? So the Lord is trying to draft in the Israelite foreigners to repentance, to turn back to their heritage.
That's right, man. 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. Either one of y'all? The water too, y'all.
3 and 9?
Yeah, let one of them get it. They, you know, keep them up. You got it? Good.
This is 1 Corinthians.
You get Matthew 25 if you want.
Chapter 3, verse 9. For we are laborers together with Yahweh. Ye are Yahweh's husbandry. Ye are Yahweh's building.
Great. So this is talking about the spiritual foundation that was being built during the times when James, Peter, Paul, and all of them was on the scene. The tabernacle of Amos 9 and 8 was not, wasn't going to be complete at that time. The Lord does everything in process of time. 1,000 years to us is a day to Him. You see that? And He's bound by His own prophecies. Once He put it out there, He got to bring it to pass. Now, at that time, the Lord was building the spiritual house of Israel, establishing and setting in stone the foundation of faith, of which we can eat off of today, and which we are built up and set up for salvation. Now, the hopeful elect. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
All the way. Just keep going. I'll let you know.
According to the grace of Yahweh, which is given unto me,
all the way 15.
as a wise master builder.
Right, as a wise master builder, man. All right, and that's what we've become today, master builders, man. All right, that's why you say, obey your masters in the Lord. You know, not your master like I'm going to whoop you, but your, not me, you're talking about the elders. You know, they're not our master like pulling out a whip on us. You know, but they're our masters, meaning they've mastered this craft, this truth.
Just like how the law was a schoolmaster.
Schoolmaster, my man. That's right, Jack. Go ahead.
I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon.
Oh, He have laid the what?
The foundation, and another buildeth thereon.
Right. So Paul, Peter, Yahushua, they've laid that foundation. You see that? And today we build upon it. Upon that foundation, which makes what? A building fitly firm and squared and set, fitly framed, man, and set in place. Alright? That's fit for the kingdom. Go ahead.
But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon.
Right, from that point, that's when the foundation was laid. Alright, and since then we've been building on that foundation until the house is complete. You see that? And that's now. Go ahead, brother. I ain't got time for that.
Verse 11. For other foundations can no man lay.
Wait, pull the sword. Hey, brother. Negroes, Latinos, Native American, Israelites of the Bible, man. You a king, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Hold your head, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right, fam. Go ahead, brother.
For other foundations can no man lay that is laid, which is of Mashiach Yahushua.
Yeah, man. Our people are sick, man. Our people got demons on them, man. It's going to take this word to pierce through that damn cloud, that veil that they have, man. You know? They need this shit. They walk around sick every day adding sin unto sin, not knowing that we're in the end and judgment time. Because of niggas, crackers like you fucking vocab Malone, man. Keeping the shit going.
Rap devil.
You're in the spirit of, yeah, you the rap devil. Vocab Malone, rap devil. You know? You're in the spirit of Esau, keeping the fire simmering. Just like in the Middle East, keeping that fire simmering so they can have problems, so they can get money from it. You keep a problem simmering with our people in this doctrine, then you can get money from it. That's why you go on this dude's page and you watch this video, it cuts to a commercial because you're getting paid. Alright, go ahead.
I'm going to read it over.
That's right. Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Israelites of the Bible.
Yes, sir.
That's right, man. It's not about color, but it's about nationality and promise, man.
I feel that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
No doubt. Go ahead.
This is verse 11. For other
I
foundations.
didn't agree with that. I was like, no. I'm going to say, yo. Go ahead.
For other foundations can no man lay that is laid, which is how
Read that part again. Read that part again.
I'll wait for that. Hold on, let me get...
Says, for other foundations
No, go ahead, brother.
can no man lay then that is laid.
All right, so like just like how we were talking about vocab alone, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh already established that foundation with the Spirit, right? You're trying to build upon what was already established and try to build your own structure on top of our foundation, which was given to us.
He trying to put a center block on top of a brick. And using peanut butter for the damn, what's it called that shit?
Mortar.
For the mortar.
He's
trying to make a sandwich? He's trying to make a sandwich.
He's trying to put a broke brick upon the building when it can't fit. Because in the laws, when you build a temple, you can't use a broke brick to build a part of a temple.
Well, when you're building an altar, you have to use unhewn stone.
Yeah.
That boy putting the swear in the circle.
So now let's get back to the point. we're part of that. We're part of that building process, becoming master builders, right? Now, the foundation was laid 2,000 years ago. What happens now? Since then, it's been getting built upon, man, all the way till today. All right, and putting the capstone on it, Yahweh Shah, the cornerstone. All right, go ahead, you got it. Go ahead. That was it? All the way to 20.
Verse 12.
Can you read that last part again?
Fine. For other foundations can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach.
Hey, so it said, which is, that foundation is Yahweh Shah. All right, so how did he go off? How did James go off? Because he didn't say it in this way. He should have just said the foundation has been laid, but in the future, you know, the tabernacle of David will be risen. But let's lay the foundations for our future brethren. You know, that's what Peter knew this. Peter spoke about it in 1 Peter chapter 1 and 1 Peter chapter 2. That's all he spoke about. All right, as a future kingdom. If you see anything in your blanket, you know, let's do 1 Peter 1 and 2. Come on, go ahead.
Verse 12.
Yeah.
Verse 12. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stone, wood, hay, stubble. Verse 13.
Right, man. Go ahead.
Every man's work shall be made manifest.
Right, so whatever you building, like the brother said, vocab, in the last days, you're going to give account for every idle word spoken. Every brick that you've laid, whether you use hay, whether you use your lies, whether you use disrespect, whether you use scoffing, blasphemy, whatever. Disrespect the name of the Lord, all right? Idolatry, whatever you're using, the Lord going to examine that as a master carpenter. When he shows up, he's going to examine your work, and every man going to receive of his work, whether it be good or evil. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it.
That's right, man. The day of judgment is going to declare your work. It's going to let you know what side you on. So when the Lord shows up, he's going to divide who? The sheep from the goats. He's not going to take the whole world. All right? And that's when he's going to reestablish the tabernacle of David according to Amos 9 and 8. All right, he said, what? You going to get that? You about to get that? Amos 9,
I got you.
Yeah. Keep it go. Matthew. Go ahead, brother.
Matthew 25,
Yep.
32.
You got it?
That's it. Good.
All right, this is Matthew 25 and 31.
Go ahead.
It says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
Right. Hey, who wanted that? Oh, I'm not going to. Right. So then, but he said the end is not yet. Anybody get that? He was telling them that, man. He said, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, the seed of David. You know? That shall always sit upon the throne. Which he is upon the throne. He's in the heavens on the throne. But he's going to sit on the throne on earth. Alright? Can you read that part again?
Fine. This is Matthew 25 and 31.
Somebody let me know when he got it.
It says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him.
Right, this is how it's going to look, man. He's going to have all the holy angels with him. So it didn't happen yet. It didn't happen during the time of James. Alright? And that goes along with Amos 9 and 8. Go ahead.
Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
Alright, so in that day, that's when he's going to sit on the throne, and King David under him. Alright, go ahead. Alright, keep going.
Right, verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations.
Shall be gathered who?
All nations.
All the nations. And what he going to do to them, though? Vocab. Go ahead, brother.
And he shall separate them.
He's going to do what?
He shall separate them.
He's going to separate them. Go ahead.
One from another.
One from another. That means each individual. There should not be one stone left unturned. Go ahead. He's going to check every motherfucking stone. Go ahead.
One from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goat.
So he's going to, as the shepherd divideth his sheep from the goat, like the brother read earlier. You know, if one strays, he's going to go get that one. I mean, he's watching over the flock with what? His voice. That's what a shepherd does. He guides the sheep with his voice. But he also filters through to make sure no wolves are in the pack. Make sure no bad sheep, sick sheep. Right? And he guides them through his voice and commands.